Problem 6 tells us that the graph below represents the cost in dollars of green squash at a grocery store based on the number of pounds. One of the key things we need to see here is that this is talking to us, the graph is talking to us about the price at specifically a grocery store. So I'm going to highlight that piece. Then we're also told that the cost per pound of green squash at a local farmer's market is half the cost per pound. So this is a huge important thing. The local farmer market is half the cost per pound when compared with the grocery store. So I'm going to highlight that key piece of information too. They say select the equation that represents the cost of green squash at the local farmer's market. So what's tricky to see here is there's two things going on. One, the graph, which is a grocery store's cost for green squash. And then they want us to find an equation at the local farmer's market. And the important thing to recognize, let the webcam load again. The important thing to see as we highlight up here is for the farmer's market, it's going to be half the cost as it is at the grocery store. And our equation has to relate to the farmer's market. So first thing we need to do is use the graph for the grocery store to find their unit rate. There's a bunch of data points, but you see for each of these first data points, it's hard to tell when we're at 6 pounds, for example, what the exact cost is. So this is the data point that I focused on. I saw that at 10 pounds, we're exactly at $15, and that's the data we copied on the whiteboard here. So we're going to first find the cost for the grocery store. If it's 10 pounds for every $15 of green squash, then we know our unit rate, $15, Y, for every 10 pounds, tells us it's going to be $1.50, 1.50, or 1.5 for every 1 pound. But the important thing to see is we need to do half the cost for the farmer's market equation. So we need to take our $1.50 and divide that by 2. We realize 75 cents for every 1 pound. Because at the farmer's market, it needs to be half the cost. So we take that unit rate divided by 2, 75 cents per pound. So the equation we're really looking for is X, the pounds, will get multiplied by 75 cents, and that will give us the cost over at our farmer's market. So your correct answer here was not going to be C. In fact, the correct answer was actually D. You had to cut the unit rate in half. A bunch of you, my guess, if you didn't read carefully, might have picked C because you found the correct unit rate for the graph, but needed to read more carefully. If you ended up with answer choice B or A, those ones are off by quite a bit. Feel free to talk to us if you have any questions for this last problem in Unit 1, Independent Practice.